Hi, and this is Japanese craft beer reviews. We have a new beer from one of the four major brewing companies in Japan for you today, and that is Suntory. And like most of the four Japanese major companies are Asahi, Kirin, Sapporo, and Suntory, and they've all tried to make a kind of craft, or as you might say, crafty sort of line of beers. And Suntory has had several in the past, and they currently have their Suntory Tokyo Craft series, which seems to have staying power. But many of them, for many brewers, they put out a few things and then they kind of disappear. So, but Suntory has a new series called their World Craft series, and we're going to take a look at one of those beers today. So this beer is the second in their World Craft series. I'm not sure why they call it World Craft, because basically what they're doing is looking at different styles, not geographic ones necessarily. But the first one was called World Craft White Beer, and that was released about a year ago. February 2022, and they've just come out with this one, and this one is called World Craft Pale Ale, and in Japanese it has a kind of subtitle saying Kankitsu Kaoru Pale Ale, or citrus scented pale ale. And what they tout here is the use of Eclipse hops from Australia, and I'm not terribly familiar with them. A number of Aussie or New Zealand hops, of course, are quite famous. Things like Motueka and Nelson Sauvin. But Eclipse hops I'm not terribly familiar with. Apparently it's a variety that was created in 2004, so it's not the oldest hop in the world. But it's very high alpha acid. The figures I read were between 15.7 and 18.7% alpha acids, which should make its presence felt very definitely. And they expect it should give off mandarin, citrus, and pine notes. So we'll see about that. Here on Rate Beer, there were no ratings for this beer at all. Untapped had 92 when I checked, and the average was 3.19 out of 5. 5% alcohol, and I do not know the international bittering units, the bitterness level for this at all. The ingredients are simply barley malt and hops. The malt is imported. So, in any case, so second in their World Craft Beer series, let's give this one a go. World Craft Pale Ale, citrus scented. No citrus, simply the Eclipse hops from Australia. Okay, it is a very, absolutely crystal clear, brilliant gold color with about a half a finger of sort of frothy foam. Carbonation, barely perceptible. Okay. All right. Okay, well, I do get an interesting hop out of this right away. I'm kind of fruity. I would say more citrus blossom than citrus, and pine is in the background for sure. Okay. Promising. Okay. All right. Well, we do get certainly it's quite malty up front. The hops are definitely there, and they are different. Certainly. I don't know if I'd really peg these as down under hops, but one problem with many of the beers from the major brewing companies in Japan is that when they use something, a specialty hop, like here in this case Eclipse, they don't use enough to make it really perceptible. It's unfortunate. This is pleasant. It does have definitely a bitter edge from mid palate, but it's not strong. And very, very, very light bitter tracks. So the hops are not having the impact that they probably should have, I think, for such a high alpha acid hop. Yeah, this is not unpleasant, but it's not exceptional. It is a little bit more bitter than a typical pale ale, but not much. And the maltiness is pretty much regular. Yeah, so not terribly impressive entry in their new series, their World Craft Series, but you may want to give this a go. This is at, is it Lawson? I believe it's Lawson only special. So you find it at, or no, I'm sorry, Family Mart. Family Mart only, as it says right here, of course. Family Mart special. So if you're in Japan, you go to a Family Mart convenience store, you can probably find this right now. I doubt that it's going to stay around very, very long at all. But give it a go. And let me know your experience with Suntory or with pale ales or anything at all. Send me a note and I will respond. Maybe not immediately, but sooner or later for sure. And do subscribe to the channel. All right. Bye-bye.